Three, two.
You are live. So for those that are waiting uh, in our Hangout, we're just gonna start in around 5 minutes. Thank you all for coming over. We're gonna be starting our Hangout soon, in the next few minutes. Thank you to everybody that is waiting in line. And hello to everybody for welcome to everybody, and hello to everybody in the chat. And hi Izo. Yeah, that's probably my Telegram, because I don't have the sounds muted for everything else. Okay, let's go. I hope everybody can hear me okay. Welcome everybody to our community hangout for this is the October hangout. We did it today for two reasons. First of all, you know, we always said that it's gonna be the last week, the last Saturday of every month, so we don't have a Saturday for October next week. But we also had decided with a team to actually do a live release, so that you guys can see what is involved for us to release a version of Phalcon. So we're also celebrating today another achievement. We're going to release the RC2, Release Candidate 2 of Phalcon. That means that we just have a tiny amount of things to do before we release v4 stable. And this is a huge achievement from the team. We've been working on v4 for close to a whole year. A lot of changes, a lot of things have changed, as you guys have seen, and more on that a little bit later, but we're really excited to be able to release this version for you guys. Okay, so let's go to our slides. All right, so of course the agenda as usual is the introduction, the welcome to all attendees. As always, we want to thank the whole community and our contributors for everything that they do, the support that they give us, the encouragement that they give us with discussions, with arguments, with pull requests, with anything that you can think of. So let me try and minimize this window because there's a tiny flicker. I'm hoping I fixed it. Then we're gonna give you a status update since our last hangout. We're gonna do the live release of v4.0.0.RC2. Then we're gonna talk a little bit about GitHub sponsors, documentation, the videos we have from the source code, Devtools, sample applications, and we're gonna have a Q&A. So, huge thank you to our community. If you want to see some of the contributors, and this is just a small list because Phalcon is an organization. It has numerous repositories, and a lot of people decide to contribute to different repositories. You could go to github.com Phalcon, see Phalcon Graphs contributors. You can see some of the people there. Of course, if you change the repository name, you're gonna see contributors in different projects. Also a reminder on for everybody, we have a social presence on pretty much every major social network. So if you want to follow us on the social network of your choice, by all means do so. we would very much welcome if you subscribe to any of these. So, for instance, if you prefer BitChute or library instead of YouTube, you can do that. So, the update. Some mentions. We would like to thank Cameron, Arhel, Ekmst, Jackerson, Balas. I could never say that. Sblisi. It's difficult for me, sorry. And many others that have helped us with this release. These guys have not only introduced pull requests, they also engaged in discussions, found different things. I'm just mentioning some of their names, not all of them. So a huge thank you goes directly to the community. What we have right now is we have 5 open pull requests. 3 of them are for 4.1, so that doesn't really matter for us. We have one with regards to our README file, and one is actually work in progress that is related to documentation mostly. We have 100 open issues. The vast majority of those are either NFRs, new feature requests, or some of them are clarifications and things that we will do on 4.1. We have some of the issues, either questions or bugs that have not been verified, so we actually keep that list as low as possible. And for our project, we have 6 to-do cards. These cards, 4 of them relate to upgrading applications and documents for v4. There are 4 in progress. The 2 of them are for applications and documents, and we have 678 cards done. Now, I did mention this before. The 678 is a little bit misleading because we have 1 card for the pull request and 1 card for the issue, so it's probably a little bit less, but still that doesn't diminish the work that has already been done by everybody that has been involved in the project. We have 4.0.0.RC2 today, yay, and we have documentation and Devtools as an update. So, as usual, we start with Zephyr. Again, huge thanks to Dream and Sergey for keeping Zephyr in top shape. We do have quite a few problems with Zephyr in terms of things that we need to do. Zephyr works just fine, but we are all perfectionists. We want to make sure that the language offers the best translation, if you like, to C code so that you can compile your extensions. And this is the reason why we do a lot of very quick and incremental releases for Zephyr in order to ensure that anything that we find gets fixed. There's always a big focus towards performance, segmentation of faults, and memory leaks. So we always try and make sure that those are down to a minimum. But we do have something against us, and we discussed this in our previous Hangout. If you actually do go and compile the PHP code, you are going to see memory leaks there. So we might try and fix things in Zephyr, but sometimes the Zend engine doesn't help us. So we're working on all of these together. Since our last Hangout, 2 new releases came out. Our last Hangout, we were waiting for 0.9 to be released. Right now we're at 10, 0.12.10, and some of the highlights on what has been changed between those 2 versions. We have a little bit of a better globals management, the globals from PHP. Certain methods that were obsolete have been removed. We made some adjustments for PHP 7.3 with regards to 7.3 throwing warnings for certain pieces of documentation, compilation, sorry. Some cosmetic options, some cosmetic changes came for the options when you type Zephyr --. The stubs have been enhanced a little bit to make sure that they generate much more concise and accurate stubs for your project. Again, as I mentioned before, segmentation fault fixes and memory leaks, especially on update array, which is a huge area. We're pretty much updating arrays on everything, really. And there's also been enhancements and fixes on escape slashes, on escaping slashes. And again, the using the local memory management issue, this has been going on for quite a while. It's to introduce the coroutines for Phalcon and asynchronous processing. So for the translations and the documents, this is a slide that I always have on. I'm just gonna quickly go through it. Again, huge thank you to all the translations and of course Crowden, who offers us this really awesome platform to be able to translate documentation. The project link is there, and if you are interested, you can translate as much or as little to the language that you like. We only translate v4 documents. All translations are approved by proofreaders, and then Crowden will automatically push those translations to our repository. The merge request and submodule update builds, these are manual processes that we do them ourselves. And then once everything is done and dusted, Algolia will crawl the site every day or so, and the new content will be uploaded. Just a quick note: in order to build the whole documents website, it takes close to 10 to 15 minutes, but we have set up our builds to be incremental, so only the new and changed files will change. So usually within the next 5 minutes after we decide to build it, you will have the content on the site, and then it will take Algolia a little bit to query the whole site, and then the search will be updated. So we have the RC2. What have we done so far? RC is the release candidate, or as you might know. We have a lot of alignments to the interfaces. These are mostly typos that we introduced. So you have an interface that says, okay, I'm expecting an array. Well, in the actual implementation, we made a mistake and we put mixed. So these two interfaces have to be aligned. Thank you to Rude for running, I think it was either Salm or PHP Stan, one of the two, against the PHP stubs, the IDE stubs that we have. And we managed to identify a lot of areas that our interfaces do not align. And if there is a time that we can fix those, now is the time, because it is a major release and you cannot mess with Semver. So we corrected a lot of typos. We added missing references and use statements, and the interface to class declarations have been changed. Also, we worked on the create objects functionality. So Phalcon will require to create some objects inside the framework. I'll give you an example. When we're using the cache for Redis, Phalcon needs internally to create a Redis class, so that that is exposed by the Redis extension, so that it can communicate with Redis. Usually, as one would expect, this would be variable equals new class, right? So it will be adapter equals new Redis, right? There are some times that we do not know exactly the class name, so the class name has to be computed. And this is mostly with relates to our factories. or in the DI container where the class name could be a string, it could be a callable, it could be anything else. So there's three different ways of creating objects in Zephyr, and we went through all of those areas that we would create objects, and we ensured that we use the fastest object creation method that is available based on the circumstance, and that increased performance significantly. A little smaller wrap up. We had four, based on our changelog, of course, we have 4 new things that were added. We had 6 changes, 35 fixes, and 2 removals in our whole changelog. As far as the added things, a small highlight here, we added the set log level in our logger. This used to be a feature in v3, in the logger for v3, and thank you to Jagger for bringing it to our attention. We kind of like forgot it. Set log level will allow you to set a particular log level for your logger, which is the minimum allowed, and above that the logger will start logging events. I'll give you an example. Let's assume you have you want a particular logger to log only critical critical alerts and emergencies, right? And that logger goes and puts everything into a file that only administrators or DevOps people see. Okay, well, you can set your normal logger in your application that will log pretty much everything, and then you can set a second logger that would log only for the DevOps people, but then you set that log level to be critical or emergency, and anything above that in terms of importance will be logged in that log. Anything that is below that, such as emergency or notice, such as notice or warning, will not be logged in that second level. So that's kind of like a good thing to have. I'm hoping that people will not abuse it and use it as a way to hide all the notices and warnings that come out of your code. You always should address those too. And that's just Nico's talking. The array get, the rget, and also the collection get on those two objects now accepts a one last parameter, which is the cast. If I want to get a value from my array and I want it to be casted into something, I can put the last option there. So for instance, in this example, from my collection, I'm getting the status element. If it's not defined, it will return 1. That's the default value. But if it is defined, it will be casted into an integer. All right. And finally, for the Phalcon paginator repository, the JSON serializable has been introduced, and this helps very much with APIs where you don't want to transform the data yourself. You use JSON serializable when you have the proper repository yourself set up, and then you're just going to return the data back. Again, this is really cool for APIs and all that. So let's stay here. We're gonna switch it over to our Zoom meeting, and let me do this. Give me just a sec, guys. Alright, there you go. The gang. Hey! So we got Ruud and Sergey. Of course, it's 12 o'clock here. It's dinner time over there, the Netherlands and Ukraine. And we're happy. We're going to show you how we do our releases. All right, so whenever you want, Sergey, you can start sharing your screen. We can show all that. And you guys can unmute yourselves if you want to talk, so we're good with that too.
Hi guys.
Hello, hello. Okay, so I'm gonna be guessing what Sergey is doing. But no, in all seriousness, the release involves quite a few steps. And first and foremost, we have to make sure that the code is pristine, and that the builds have run, and the tests are passing and all that stuff. So one of the things that we have to do is right before we we start doing everything, we just ensure that every single thing for the release is done. And one of those things, for instance, is the changelog, as you actually saw, and then we actually add the date of where we actually released. And then what we would do is we're gonna make sure that all the code in the ext folder gets properly built again, and then uh, start building the whole process again. So as you see here, Sergey is using the latest Zephyr and doing some magic. Half of that stuff I don't really know what he's doing, but yeah, I think he's just changing Zephyr versions just to make sure that uh, that everything is compiled with the correct version. We're using 0.12.10 for this release, just to make sure that everything is in the correct compilation sequence. And to everybody that's on the chat, and everybody that's watching, hello to Izo again. Hello to Rodoslow. Yes, before that, when I was talking about the interface changes, Root did use Salm for it. And I think I've used Salm as well a couple of a day or two ago, just fixed a couple more things. So what Sergey is doing right now is he's compiling Phalcon again. So he's pretty much regenerating the whole ext folder with the version of Zephyr that we want. And for those that have, just a small disclaimer, for those that have worked with Phalcon and have used possibly nanobox or their own machines, for me, that I have a reasonably good machine with 8 cores and 32 gigs of RAM, Phalcon takes around 6 minutes to compile. So don't get blown away by Sergey's computer. He has 20 cores on his computer, and he's using an NVMe drive. That's why you see pretty much every operation being really, really fast. I mean, the compilation didn't take pretty much nothing. So we're all jealous. One of these days, we're gonna go to his house, distract him, and steal his computer. But that's
To get SSH login.
I know, right? So yeah, we saw that everything was compiled properly. We're doing the push into the v4 branch. All the headers were done. So this one will trigger the build, and we're just gonna wait a little bit until the build is completely done. And while we wait, we can actually go back to the slide and talk about the rest of our Hangout, and then finish up with what we need to do.
We'll drop a link of Travis in the chat for people who want to follow the bit.
Yeah, of course. We can talk to whatever you guys are thinking. Yeah, I know he's only 20, right? When he actually showed me the computer and the motherboard and all that stuff, I was just drooling. But hey, you know, it is what it is. So right now what Sergey is doing is he's preparing the pull request to send it to the main repository so that we can merge it, and you know, the build will start running. So as you can see, do you have the correct branch, buddy? At the top for the PR? Yeah, okay. Yeah, I forgot. This is a release. Of course, it's gonna have a lot of commits. So sorry about that. So what we're doing right now is we're going into GitHub, the releases tag, and then we're starting a brand new release. So what you do is you draft a new release first, and then you keep it into draft until you're ready. And the being ready means a few things. So first and foremost, you need to put the whole changelog in there, what you've done since the beginning of the last version, if you like. So what Sergey is doing is now he's copying the changelog, visual preview of what is going on. If we had any issues, then we would correct them there on the changelog. Sometimes we might have some minor issues, links missing from one line, what has been changed to something else, and so on and so forth. Then one of the things that we must do is, after this has been done, is to actually monitor and wait for the release. So what happens here is, as you see on the screen, the actual issue, the pull request has 4 different things. It has to do the Travis side of things, and it has to do the AppVeyor side of things. And AppVeyor is important, equally important. So for starters, what we do is we look at the actual Travis build. If everything is green, if something is wrong, that means that we did something wrong, right? And we have to address it. So we look at every single build for 7.2, 7.3, 7.4 snapshot. Again, the static analysis, the Zephyr development version, and so on and so forth. And the second part is AppVeyor. AppVeyor, for those that do not know, is a tool that builds your extension in Windows builds. Okay. So what happens is that every single time we have a pull request, AppVeyor will actually launch just like Travis, and it will build the extension. Now we kind of like cheat a little bit. What we do is we use AppVeyor as well to build our DLLs. So in the past, the building of DLLs was a manual process. I would have to fire up 2 different VMs, have to run different scripts to compile everything from scratch, and then the result would be different DLLs, one for NTS, one for non-NTS, and then you would have the x64 versus x36, and then you have the different versions. All right, that was more acute during the V5, the PHP 5 versions. But now what we're doing is Sergey, this really awesome integration with AppVeyor, where once AppVeyor builds the whole extension, it stores the artifact, as we call it, and that artifact is the DLL. Okay, so as you see the AppVeyor list of what it has to run, you will see that one of them is for 64 and one of them is for v86, so 32-bit, 64-bit, and of course you will have the distinction of NTS versus non-NTS, and then you will have the different versions, and that gives you the whole list of DLL files that we need. Each of those are jobs in AppVeyor, and once they are completed, we will have all the DLLs necessary. Hello to Diplopedo, and hello to SO Interactive. Welcome everybody. So one of them, you can actually see it here. Sergey actually looked at one of these builds, and he's gonna be able to download the actual artifact that has been built by AppVeyor. Okay, and this particular process streamlines and speeds up our release significantly. I'll give you a tiny statistic. It would take me well over 3 hours to compile all the DLLs, and that assumed that there were no issues. Okay, whereas with AppVeyor, I would say within 15-20 minutes, by the time all the Travis builds are done, AppVeyor should be done as well, and that gives us all the DLLs that we need for this release. Now this might be a good tidbit for you guys if anybody's working on Windows and they've issued a pull request. Then when your pull request comes in, you will see the AppVeyor build and all that, and at the end you will see, oh, you know, all checks passed, good for you, blah blah blah. You can click on one of those links to go to AppVeyor and download a DLL with what you've done and use that in your system to test. So that is a good thing to know for Windows users mostly. Okay. So as you see, we still have a few jobs to run. 3 of them are being completed. We should take AppVeyor and we should put it at Sergey's computer. It will probably run faster.
Yeah, I'm not sure if Sergey is going to install Windows though.
No way. No way. Sergey's like me. If there's an absolute need that I have to use Windows, only then I use it. Otherwise, no, Linux, thank you.
It's funny that nobody of the team is using Windows.
Well, I do use Windows for work, and in order for me to use Windows, what I have done is I've installed VirtualBox on my machine, and in that VirtualBox I have a Windows machine, so I fired it up only when I need it, and then I shut it down and I'm done with it. The funny thing is when you go to the Windows environments and you need to use terminals, let's say to connect to other servers, because the reason I use Windows is because of a VPN that I have to connect to for work. You're so used to the syntax that you use on your own machine that you expect that syntax to exist in other things. So all of my let's say all of my git commands, I use alias. So git s is git status, git co is git commit. So I tried to do those in the other machines, and I'm like, oh no, man, those don't exist.
Let's look at the screen of Sergey.
Yeah, that's the crazy core list and processes that are running. Man, I'm so jealous. One of these days we're gonna I'm gonna have a much faster computer. I'll probably buy a Cray or something.
I'm running a Mac, by the way, for people who are curious.
Yeah, Macintosh is quite close to Linux, so you can do a lot of things with it.
Yeah. And all the Phalcon stuff I'm doing in Docker, so.
Mm-hmm.
Nanobox and stuff like that.
Well, it's actually good that you have a Mac, because if something is specific to a Mac, you could potentially pick it up.
Yeah.
Zoom eats
It's
CPU.
CPU on my Mac.
Yeah, well, it does. Any video processing does eat a lot of CPU. The only thing that I can tell you is that at least Zoom is much better than WebEx. There are times that I have to use WebEx for work to go into different meetings. There have been times that it actually crashed my whole computer. I mean, it's crazy how nobody has actually created something that it's not going to be so memory and resource hungry for video conferencing and all that.
I'm wondering if we should move the Q&A to this moment already. So we can discuss a few topics if people got questions.
Iso says he likes Windows and he uses Windows, but he likes Windows. Yeah, I don't have a problem with Windows. I'm just so used to doing certain things in Linux that my workflow is much better when I work on Linux. And he also says it's relatively cheap these days thanks to Ryzen 3900X. You know what? I've never ever in my life used AMD. It's crazy, but I don't know, it just happened that I've never used AMD products. Maybe my next build would be something like this. So, I don't know. We'll see. Anything you guys want to ask while we wait for this process to finish, by all means just go ahead and ask for the Q&A and all that. What we're looking at is one of the builds that is going on right now in Travis. As you saw a little bit earlier, some of them were done, were finished, so we're waiting for the rest of them. Travis for open source projects has a limit of 3 containers at a time, and as you see we have 5 tasks. So the first 3 run concurrently, and the other 2 they have to wait. So what happens is the build, usually for every Travis build, usually it takes around 10-15 minutes, but after the 10-15 minutes you have to wait for another 10-15 minutes for the other 2 to run. There was an idea to contact Travis and perhaps ask them to excuse me, sneeze came up. To ask them maybe to increase the concurrent builds to 5 or 6 or something like that, and we could do. We could ask them. Maybe we could ask them for sponsorship or anything like that.
Yeah, it's quite pricey though.
We have to be very appreciative by the fact that a lot of companies have we contacted them and they have decided to sponsor us. So for instance, Netlify is offering us with free hosting for our documents and our blog and our website. We have Crowdin, who are extremely generous, and they've offered us this translation platform. We have also Algolia, that again we are on their open source project. They offer us the search. O2, huge props to these guys. They have designed our websites, and they've done this beautiful magic with making everything so nice. We also cannot thank Uptrends enough, the company from Belgium that does this continuous checking of our websites for status if they're up or down, and all those are being sent to Discord in the status channel. So if something goes down, you will see it right there immediately. And the late, sorry.
From the Netherlands, not from Belgium.
Yes. Didn't I say that?
Yeah, you said Belgium.
Oh, sorry. It's the Netherlands. I'm really sorry about that. I thought my mind was there, but you know.
Belgium is also nice.
Yeah, well, Belgium has better chocolate, man. So. So sorry, it was the Netherlands from Uptrends. Huge thanks to these guys too. And recently, we forgot to say this. We got a full pro account for Cloudflare, the company that manages our DNS. So we have more tools to our disposal to make sure that everything is nice and running for our whole ecosystem of websites. Actually, I'm gonna expand on this a little bit later. The GitHub sponsorships. We're gonna have a better way of offering people the ability to support the project if they want to on a monetary basis, but that's coming up later in our discussion.
I think it's cool to point out, I think the series already referring to it on screen, that we finally got PHP 7.4 working in Travis. You can see that's building now. I think the only issue where we have right now is the segfault caused by maybe a PHP unit or a conception or something. So we one test for 7.4, 7.4. But yeah, since RC1 is now building on 7.4. So
yep, that's great. Yeah, that was a huge win because whenever you see the list of the builds, you really want to see all of them going green, right? And although for 7.4 we had it said that you're allowed to fail in Travis, it wasn't sitting right. So yeah, we set everything up. It was really nice that this thing is compiling, and there's still quite a little bit of work to yeah, we can work on that, Isa. So sorry about that. Maybe there's an echo there. Maybe it's I think it's probably my my microphone picking up the audio twice or something like that. I don't know. So yeah, what Rude was saying was that we finally made changes to so that PHP 7.4, the snapshot, compiles fine. So for those that remember, if you opened a pull request or you looked at Travis, you would see 7.2, 7.3 running, and then 7.4 for quite a bit of time was actually failing. But we did allow that to fail because 7.4 is kind of like a beta right now. It's not a full blown release out. So what we did is we managed to fix all that, and we're really happy about it. We do have some issues to resolve for later on with codeception and some of the unit tests and all that, but for now we're compiling just fine. So again, looking at Sergey's screen, everything is yeah, Yeah, probably what you're talking about is correct. Maybe it's not picking up the Zoom meeting video. Actually, Rude, I think it doesn't, because when we did our test earlier, I had a third VU meter on the software. Now it's only 2. So somehow when we stopped the screen sharing, when we changed it, it kind of like got rid of that thing. So I'm sorry about that, guys. I'm happy to repeat everything again. So
I'll keep my mouth shut.
What was that?
I'll keep myself quiet. It's good.
Yeah, well, we're trying to keep you quiet. Haha. Okay, so this is again looking at Sergey's screen. This is again the build that is going on. You see the first three have finished, and now the fourth one is running, and then we're gonna have the last one running. For those that are interested, we always want to compile with the latest developmental version of Zephyr. Because it's constantly moving, it's constantly introducing new features, fixing new things. So what we do is we want to make sure that this thing is built properly, and if we have any issues with Zephyr, we can just get them all running. Now what Sergey is actually showing here is that AppVeyor has completed all the tasks, and what is going to happen is, once we have greens on all of these tasks, on all these 4 tasks, then we need to make sure that we download the DLLs, put them in the release, and then we're going to start the second part of the release process. By the way, you do see that on the screen it says 1 approval. We always try and keep this this habit. If one of us creates something, then somebody else has to approve it. There are very rare occasions for quick things that you might commit something directly without approval. Let's say you want to change a little bit the change log or something very quick that you forgot. We could do that, but for the most part, we always keep this habit of one approves the other person's work, if you like, or pull request.
Maybe we can continue with the presentation.
Yeah.
And I'll come back to it later.
Yeah, let's do that. Let's switch over to the presentation. Okay. Present this. All right, so we talked about that. Okay, GitHub sponsors. I touched a bit on this a little bit earlier. For those that are wondering what this thing is, some of you might have noticed at the top of any repository in Phalcon, you see this little sponsor heart icon, as you can see on the screen, bottom right. This little sponsor next to the unwatch window. And what this did in the past is it would actually take you straight to our open collective project, where you can you can contribute as much or as little or none as you would like. This relates to monetary sponsorship. We have people that donate $100. We have people that donate $2. it doesn't really matter. We always appreciate everything, and we always try to be very stingy, so not to waste the money that has been entrusted to us. Now we do have a good amount of money stashed on the side in Open Collective, and we have been trying to use it wisely in terms of things that we need to address. So we have sponsored work from various people to help us push v4 forward. We have bought some software in the past, but that's pretty much it. We're not wasting that money, so that's a good thing to know. Now GitHub has introduced this sponsors program for individuals. So if I wanted to, I could apply for the GitHub sponsorship program, and then they would handle donations that go towards my personal work. Now, since I'm not the one that is Phalcon is an organization, we could not use that. But GitHub opened a project some time ago, and we got into that project. It was a private repo with discussions and all that stuff on how to introduce sponsoring of teams. So so what would happen is, after all these discussions that came on, and GitHub has been working in the background for it, they've just introduced an alpha version for teams, and we were accepted to get in. So what would happen is, actually in what is it? It's 12 o'clock here. I think it's 5 o'clock our meeting. So in four hours or something from now, we have another meeting with the GitHub team in order to help us get our project into the GitHub sponsoring of teams, right? So we will start by being their little guinea pigs, the alpha kind of the alpha version of the program. It's gonna be a little bit interesting, and we still have certain questions ourselves. They're gonna use Open Collective as the legal entity for US law and taxes, but they're gonna be processing stuff. I wasn't 100% sure on that, so many questions for us to ask, and of course we'll let you know as soon as we have all the answers. And also what we have done is we sent them our logo and our one-liner and all that stuff, so we have the potential to be featured in GitHub's pages, in the one that you're looking at, the github.com/sponsors. Okay, just a quick note, the release will probably take half an hour or something. So while we're moving in with this with Hangout, Sergey is building everything in the back end. Okay, and I will also show you stuff that I do, or Rude. Now bear in mind, all three of us can actually do what Sergey is doing. Because Sergey has the supercomputer, we just let him do it. So all right. Oh, so something that Rude sent on Telegram. The reason we're looking into GitHub is because they're promoting this open source / sponsorship whatever program, in order for them to get more people in. What they're doing is, for the first year, they offer double the income. So if somebody offers and no fees. So if somebody offers something like a couple of dollars or something like that, I think they're gonna make it. They're gonna make it 4. It is a really good incentive. So hold on a sec. Let me just read exactly what it says here, just to make sure that that you go. All right. So it says 2 times your sponsorship. To boost community funding, we match contributions up to $5,000 during a developer's first year in GitHub sponsors with a GitHub sponsors matching fund. So from what I understand on this is if let's say, you know, we got 1,000 people and everybody's giving a couple bucks every month, up to $5,000 GitHub will match those. So we're gonna end up with double the income. I mean, we're excited by that because that would offer us more money to have in our little piggy bank over there that we could use to do better things for for the project. Excuse me. Oh God. One other thing with regards to this. We have been in contacts with a gentleman by the name of Derek Rethens. For those that have not recognized the name, he's the guy that wrote Xdebug, and he lives in the Netherlands, not Belgium. And we actually contacted him for advice and potentially sponsoring some of his work to come and fix certain things that actually he lives in London. Thank you, Rude. All right, he lives in London. He's from the Netherlands originally, not Belgium. So yeah, we contacted him for a potential collaboration. We will pay for his time, but what we wanted to do is we want to ensure that certain things that we have in Zephyr and Phalcon that were kind of like questionable, that would potentially require a lot of research on our part to figure them out. Why not, you know, give him $10 or whatever his fee is, for him to figure them out and fix. He's one of the really core developers, Xdebug, and he contributes to a lot of extensions in PHP. So we definitely want to make sure that everything is fine in that end. So that's upcoming. We're gonna definitely take advantage of that contact. Speaking of, I forgot to write this, and I apologize. And this one came with a train of thought of talking about Derek. We've been accepted to PECL, PECL. So for those that have used the PECL before, it's an extensions manager / installer for PHP. So instead of having to go and clone a repository, get it down, go inside, run the configure, run make, and install the extension, all that stuff, PECL does everything for you. All you have to do is just PECL install and so on and so forth. Oh, cool. Deep Lopido is saying running the RC2 in Windows now. Great job. Thank you, buddy. Appreciate it. And great news that it's working okay for you now. So what we did is, for years we've been trying to get into PECL. When I'm saying years, we've been trying to get into PECL and be accepted since version, I think it was 1.x, 1.3. That's the initial time. That's the first time that Andres Gutierrez sent emails to the PECL list. We've requested to become members of PECL and post Phalcon into php.net 13 times so far. And I have to thank my very, very persistent colleague from the Netherlands, not Belgium, Ruud, who has been pestering PECL in the end, and then they turned around and said, yeah, sure, you know, we're gonna sponsor this, and we're gonna get you in. So yeah, we do have a PECL page for PHP. So now starts our big work in order to prepare Phalcon to be posted in PECL. There's a lot of things to be done. We have to prepare the code. There's certain things that you need to do with regards to PECL. And then we have to prepare the documentation for php.net. So many good things coming down the pipeline. Once we release v4, we could potentially concentrate fully on PECL so that we can allow people to not worry with all the craziness. Oh, I couldn't install it here, I couldn't install it there, and it would make things much better for people even with shared hosting. One command, PECL install Phalcon or something like that, and then you would be able to get everything working. Rude actually posted the link of our Phalcon page in PECL, or Pickle, I don't know, you know, I always call it PECL. It does show like a pickle though, anyway, in their logo. So we got that working too, and we're extremely excited. I mean, think about it this way. 1.3 was released in 2012, I think. So it's been all these years that we've been trying to get in, and nobody would say yes, or we would have a sponsor, and then one person would turn around and say, nope, we don't want this project over here. A lot of politics, a lot of bits and pieces. I mean, I don't care about what happened in the past. We got it working. So now it's more work for us anyway to create all that. All right, I'm gonna talk very quickly a little bit about the documentation, and then we can switch over to the release and the release tasks. I got a ping from Sergey that the test passed for v4 for 7.4, and he's nearly done. Should be done within the next few minutes, I guess. So let's finish up with the presentation / update, and then we can switch over to yeah, you heard the pings exactly. I got my speakers off right now, so any pings, we're not gonna hear them, thankfully. I always forget to do that, so sorry guys. It makes it more realistic. There you go. Okay, so for documentation, I've been mostly leading this effort with Ruud helping me revise all the documents. Since our last Hangout, you saw we had nearly 30 documents, 20 to 30 documents to do. Now we have only 14, and my hands hurt from just writing everything. We have 27 documents that need to be reviewed and revamped. You know, maybe syntax changes, things that I have missed and all that. We've completed the annotations, events, model behaviors, cache events, metadata, and all that stuff, the PHQL, the HTTP one, pagination, and much more. We also have the remaining ones. I need to do the tutorials, the API one. That's a big one because I have to go through every single step and explain what we're doing with the API. I need this tutorial to be perfect, just to make sure that whoever reads it at any level, they understand what is happening over there. The web server setup, that I could do it very quickly, but what I wanted to do is take fresh screenshots for installations of WAMP and XAMPP and Caddy server and all that stuff. I have to do the application, which is you know, quite a big document. The Devtools, I have to wait a little bit for Jefferson to finish the whole Devtools for v4 so that the document is accurate. DI, I started working on it today. Yeah, that's an idea. Maybe someone with a Windows machine can do the screenshots for us. Diplopido. Sorry, I had a cough. Uh, the events needs to be checked a little bit more. I found some. That's why I have it here on the work in progress. I found a couple of bits and pieces that I'm missing. The session, MVC views, routing, dispatcher, DB, and then quick tidy up. Diplopita, I'll talk to you offline on Discord if you want, but the idea is to have Phalcon installed with WAMP or XAMPP and just take a screenshot that, you know, there's my PHP info and this is what I do. Stuff like that. So, let's see. All right. One last thing. For the last few days, I have been uploading videos on YouTube, and for those that are subscribed to our channels, please like and subscribe, as my daughter would say. Have seen notifications that we've uploaded a video. So what I've done is I've taken a piece of software called Gors or Gars or source with a G at the front, and I run it against the Phalcon repository, and I put some parameters in there to limit where Gors will play will create this this nice little thing. So each of the videos is 1 year. So when we started back in 2012 all the way to 2019, and then I'm going to create one for 2019 after Christmas, you know, the brand new year. We have a playlist in YouTube that you can get to that, and the videos are available in our BitChute channel, our library, and YouTube. So they look something like this. As you can see here, you have the four-ish different trees. So on the right, where you see Andres kind of like exploding over there, or just touching a lot of files, that's probably a release or a huge commit. So that is the ext folder. And then if you go a little bit to the bottom, that was the counterclockwise, that was the unit tests, a folder that we used to have, and we merged everything. And then the green parts are the Zephyr, the Phalcon project, and the one on the left, top left, is the tests folder. And then the other one in the middle facing north kind of thing is the build folder. So you see people just flying around. I mean, you might be able to catch Wojtek, bottom left, Sergey somewhere in the middle, and Andres is all the way at the top, top right. So this was Friday, 2nd of September 2016. Clearly we have sped everything up. You know, you can have a little bit of music playing around. It just shows you how things are done. The cool thing is when we have a release, you see one person just flying, and then boom, it explodes, and it shows everything. So, you know, a little bit of fun thing for those that would want it, who want to watch it. We have all those videos for you there. I'm speeding this up a little bit because we have the 2-minute warning, as they call it. Here we're gonna be ready to merge everything into master, so we're gonna flip over to our Zoom screen so that you guys can see what's going on there. So for Devtools and stubs, we still have some work in progress. Jeckerson or Anton is leading the effort. We really thank him. There's an active work going on, actively working right now on Devtools. We're going to change the namespace to call it Phalcon/Devtools so that we don't have collisions with the main repository. And after a lot of discussion, we took the migrations out of Devtools, and they're going into their own repository. This is to ensure that we have smaller packages and we can all work on all of them together. this was a strategic decision because the migrations need a little bit of work in order to get them to a place where we want them to. Okay. The sample applications, vokuro, REST API basic tutorial, all these three are ready. The Invo is going to be put on hold. We're going to touch, and I forgot to put the forum here as well. Invo and forum are going to be put on hold until we release, and then after that we're gonna upgrade those applications to v4 as well. They're not high priority right now since we do have a proper Phalcon basic tutorial, you know, how to start. You can use the vokuro to get a little bit more of an advanced view of what is going on with v4 and an application, and then the REST API is a REST implementation. Okay, of course the Phalcon is our more complex application. The forum is one of the most complex applications we have that showcases a lot of different aspects when we work. It's more of an enterprise application, and by all means, once we upgrade that one, we're going to create different blog posts, potentially add more stuff in our documentation to show more advanced usages of Phalcon. But for now, the first three are done, and we just want to make sure that we release without having to wait for more and more things to come on. Okay, the v4 versions, Diplopedo, are in the separate branches. So each of those repositories has a v4 branch, so you can look into those. Of course, once we release, we're gonna merge the v4 to master. Okay. And let's see what else we have. Okay, so we have the Q&A. That's the end of the presentation. But what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna switch it over to Zoom so that we can go to, there we go. Okay, so I got, okay, so Sergey is planning to merge to the master branch right now, and I just switched over to Zoom, so we should be okay to, Sergey, you can present your screen if you want to. Kiev calling, yes. There we go. Okay, so we're getting ready to merge the pull request from the v4, and yay, there you go. That's it. We just merged the RC2 to master. Alright, and this one would actually fire another CI build so that everything needs to be rebuilt again. Again, thank you, Diplopedo, for picking up the artifact from AppVeyor and just testing. That was the fastest test ever. We don't even have the release ready, and the screen switch. Okay, all right. This is Diplopedo, very professional. The screen switch, Nico's no break at all. This is happening from a piece of software called OBS, and that's what allows you to click and change screens, and it's what they call them as scenes. So you can have one screen that shows something, one scene that shows something, one scene that shows something else. So it allows you for seamlessly changing stuff. Okay, so a new build has been fired. We're pretty much waiting a little bit for Upfair. It's gonna be okay on its own. Um, some of our contributors here with what we've done. Actually, what Sergey is showing right now is the dependency graph. It's something new that that GitHub introduced. So if you put a specific line in your composer.json for your open source project or for your project that is publicly available, you're gonna see your number coming up. And Sergey is actually showing in the brown bytes, the composer JSON says I'm using Phalcon, C Phalcon version 3.4 and above. So that's what makes all those things appear there in that little excuse me, project. This one actually shows, there you go, ext Phalcon 3.0. So if you go in your open source project and you put that little tag in there in your composer JSON, then that count would actually increase. Okay. So Rabbit Worker 1 from Exile SPRX. So yeah, that the used by will keep on increasing the more we keep on getting more and more people adding that into their composer JSON. Alright, so looking again at the artifacts, as you can see, Sergey is picking everything up now, and he's gonna store it into his own folder, and then we'll be able to we're gonna be able to start the second part of the release process, which is making sure that we have the proper release tagged and publish it, and then create the blog post and inform everybody via social media. So as you can see, this was the release page where we already added the changelog and all that stuff. It's still in draft mode. We're waiting for all of the waiting for all the artifacts to be done so that we can dump them in there as you know, the zip files that exist, so that people can pick them up easier. So one thing to note, I'm reading the chat a little bit. Deep Lopido, yes, we if when we go to Peckle, we're definitely gonna it's definitely gonna be easier for Windows users, but we will still build the DLLs ourselves. Because some people might not really want to use Peckle or might not be very comfortable with it. So we will definitely ensure that everything is provided to everybody, so that you know, people that don't want, or can't use Peckle, they're not being left to dry. We are trying always to offer as many options as possible for our audience, if you like, of installation. That's why we're doing all these things. Actually, I was wrong earlier. There's another 2 steps to this release. One is the first step is you're looking at it now. It's getting the release and clicking the publish button in the release of GitHub after all the DLLs have been compiled, of course, that I mentioned. The second one is to create the blog post, inform everybody by social media. And the third one is something that would happen offline. We're gonna stop the Hangout at that point. Sergey will need to go to Package Cloud. Is that the word? Yeah, Package Cloud. And he will have to prepare Package Cloud for, there it is. He will have to prepare Package Cloud to build all the RPMs and all the debs for all the versions. And you can see it here on the page. These are all the instructions that we issue to Package Cloud, and we utilize Travis to start building everything that we need, so that people can install Phalcon using their package manager, either RPM or deb based. So you can see here it's a lot of different architectures and a lot of different types, if you like, either RPM or deb. Okay. So yeah, that one was the release RC1, and we're looking at one of them that goes and builds everything, does everything from scratch, and then in the end the artifact is done, is made, and then we just send all that to packages, then the debs and RPMs are ready for everybody to use. This is why for those that have been following our blog posts, this is why pretty much on every release blog post we say that the RPMs and the debs are gonna take a little bit to compile. And you can see here on screen when you merge into master, all these deployments are being pushed to Package Cloud so that people can use them, and you're good to go after that. This whole process takes quite a long time, hence the delay of 1 or 2 hours, or sometimes more, just to get everything ready. And the bottleneck is probably Travis, because he has to run all of these things in succession and then just prepare the packages to be sent out. As you can see, our processes are not that manual. They're mostly automated. So we're happy that we managed to do this, and this whole Travis, Appware, and all that actually helps us produce all the DLLs and all the debs and RPMs for you guys. Now there are some manual things that we do, of course, and you're always gonna have some manual things. I don't know how our workflow will change with Peckle once we get that working, but we're trying to streamline the process as much as possible, so it's not a pain in the behind to get everything done. As you see here, the wait happens mostly by waiting for Appware, and this is the last Appware run, because we have to wait for the whole thing to be merged, and right after the merge, that last build is what we offer back to our community. We don't do the intermediate steps, and the one that you downloaded, Diplopedo, earlier, it's not that it's a bad DLL that you have, but we use those if need be just to test things. but the final one will come from when we merge into master. And again, the one that you download is pretty much the same. So what Sergey is gonna do now is he's gonna go and while we're waiting for the AppVeyor to finish, what he's gonna do is he's gonna start preparing the package cloud builds. So first and foremost, we have to change the version. So that one would be RC.2. Some crazy regex there. Sergey is probably the only one that uses Vim in this whole world. No, I'm just messing. There's a lot of people that use Vim. But Sergey is the most power user that I have seen in my lifetime for Vim. I wouldn't be surprised if he has Vim to make coffee for him. So yeah, some necessary changes here. We need to change the Zephyr version, the parser version if need be. Which ones are the stable branch? We need to change the RC branch over there as well. So you see here the parser has to be version 2, 1.3.2 of course, and the mainline branch will have to be the RC2. Was I right on that, or? Hold on a sec, let me just send him a quick message, because I saw something. Alright, so we have another DLL that was compiled. Again, we go and copy this and paste it. We haven't been able to automate this process. Just to run a script or something and download all the artifacts. There might be something that we could do, but for now, this thing works fine. We just wait for the build to finish, and then we just take all the DLLs and we throw them in. There you go, another one ready. And again, we're going back and copying. So we're hoping with this little exercise, I know it's a little bit boring at times to see all this. We're hoping with this Hangout, you can actually see what is involved for us to build a new Phalcon version. All right, and yeah, it's quite a bit of a manual process, up to a point, of course. Alright, so hold on a sec. Where's Sergey? Is Sergey? Oh, does he have the? Yeah, don't we have to? So Package Cloud right now has failed, and it's most likely because we don't have the whole thing passed. The whole thing. Yeah, we have no tag. Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. We don't have a tag. That's why Package Cloud is complaining. It's trying to get the branch. Also, Sergey, have a look at the file. Maybe I'm wrong, but have a look at the file that you opened earlier. The main line that you had in there was RC1, not RC2. I might be wrong, but alright, let me see if I can send him a message here from I think he's got Telegram off, the notifications. Hey Ruud, can you send him something from Zoom? I think he's got everything muted so he can do the work. Maybe he can see the Zoom message. So Sergey is not sharing his screen anymore. Let's see.
Yes.
Sorry, Ruud. Can you talk again? I had my headsets off.
Maybe we can go to Q&A.
Yeah, we could go to Q&A.
Oh, Sergey's continuing.
Okay, yeah, Sergey's. I hope he saw my message, or.
Yeah, I saw it.
Okay, good. Okay, the 7.3 are coming up. Sub 7.222. You got one 7.3 there. So 64. Yeah, the 64 is missing. That one is missing. I usually, when I do the release, usually I just wait for all the DLLs to be done and then I just drop them all in. Maybe they don't come up with a proper order. Sergey does here, but I make sure that everything is properly done. This one is the, as you will see, it's the 7.4. It's the 7. PHP 7.3 for 64-bit, but this one is the NTS version, and then the last one should be the 64-bit PHP 7.3, and again NTS. If memory serves right, that's the last one to be completed. So it should be done within the next few minutes. And hello to everybody that came back. Hi Oleg, Yes, Diplopido, definitely Sergey is in the zone. High focus, quickly doing whatever he needs to do, and then just going from here to there. That's the one, Sergey, that I was talking about. There you go. It's line 25. That's what I was talking about earlier. It caught my eye, so. And so now what we will need to do is, after we add this, and this is again package cloud. The GitHub version is only waiting for one DLL, and then we're gonna be able to both tag the code and just publish the release. And once we do that, we're gonna fire package cloud to start building the debs and RPMs, and then we're gonna switch over to the social media kind of things, just to show you what it takes to publish everything. All right, last one. Yay! Yeah, 7.3 should be 64. Yep, that's the one, Sergey. All right, just a visual check that we got everything done. The moment of truth. There you go. There is our release, guys. This is the 102nd release, v4.0.0.RC2. Yay! So now that we have this,
Yay!
I know, right? Yay! So now that we have this, and Sergey has pushed everything to the package cloud, now the Travis is going to be able to find the tag and just start building everything. We're not going to have these issues. So it is not a difficult process, but you have to wait one versus another. It's a lot of waiting to do all these things. So as you're going to see here in the in this whole the development branch, you're going to see all these builds that need to run in order to get the RPMs and debs running. All right, so what we need to do is we need to inform our buddies here that okay, we will wait because Phalcon is building now. Yep. We have the yes. So this comes to what we were talking a little bit earlier with regards to Travis, that we were gonna try and approach them if they can offer us a few more builds. Remember, I told you that we have only 3 concurrent builds. So when we build the Phalcon from any pull request, the first 3 builds happen immediately, and then the other 2 are waiting until the first 3 containers are done, and then it flips over. But because we have exactly the same account in Travis for the package cloud we have the same account for Package Cloud as well as the C Phalcon, we're going to have to wait for C Phalcon to finish first, and then those 3 containers to be available for Package Cloud to start running. So what we're going to do is, Sergey, if you don't mind, stop sharing, and I'll share my screen just to show you guys how we... Sergey is just pulling back off. I'm done. So yeah, where's my share? Let me just try and share desktop 4. Alright, so this is my screen, guys. So what we have to do now is we have to inform the community that something is going on. Hey, you know, we released something. So, you know, we have to do everything a little bit manually, right? So, is this thing showing properly or not? No, it's not showing properly. Hold on. It's supposed to show my screen. Hold on. I'll fix this. Stop sharing on this and then go here. No, that's top. This one. Alright. So, or is it? There you go. Okay, so you can see the little screen there. So here's the next step. We've fired up the tasks to start working on Package Cloud, and of course, we would wait for Travis to finish the whole build and everything like that. This is pretty much when we're talking about the DLLs and the RPMs and the debs. The deb files are going to be ready within an hour or two. So what we do is we go to our blog, and remember our blog is hosted by Netlify, and we use Jekyll to publish our blogs. This whole infrastructure, if you like, contains a CMS, which is a very rudimentary CMS, and then we put our title, our date. Actually, it shouldn't be 11. It should be what? 13. Oops. 13 is what? 01, right? And then 41, and this one should be PM. All right, there we go. So that's when we. You're not seeing my screen. Hold on, let me just check this. Can you see the? Can everybody see the? Kind of like an editor window with live release. Yes, no? Hold on a sec. See a quick message for Rude. Some phone screen. Why is it showing a phone screen? Okay, so Maybe it's a little bit behind for Root. Everybody's apparently for the guys on YouTube, they do see the okay. Give me just a sec, guys. Okay. Well, I get. All right. I got everything. I got the okay, and of course, Rude being Rude, he just got delivery of pizza, and he's showing off. Anyway, I'm just looking at it on Zoom. So, all right, let's go back to this. So what we do is we start a brand new blog post, and you know, this is the little text. I've prepared this post beforehand, and you can see here a little a preview that's going on, the whole change log, and then installation upgrade. Remember, I did mention it might take a bit of time for Deb and RPM packages to be built. Huge thank you to everybody and all of our channels and all that. So now that we're ready, just make sure that we click on save. And once this thing saves, what it does right now is it creates a pull request on our GitHub blog repository, right? Which is really cool. Then we have this, it's ready, and now once I click on publish and click on this, what would happen is this pull request has been merged, and this triggers a build from Netlify to rebuild our whole website and ergo put the brand new blog entry. All right. So for right now, we have this live release, but within the next few minutes, it's gonna come up. Okay. So what I'm gonna do is hold on a sec. Alright, so we flip over to Zoho Social. Let me just find something that we posted. There you go. So let me get this, and let me get just copy this and then open the editor again, paste this, and then so if I refresh this, there you go, Phalcon v4 released. So this one has been published. Let's copy the URL. Alright, so paste that. So what we're gonna do is Yeah, that should be okay. A good message, kinda. So what we do is we go here to Zoho Social, we create a new post, we paste that. So it's actually, we can make this a little bit. Okay, that should be okay. So we copy that, click on post now. It's posted on Twitter and Facebook. Then go to Gab, paste it, publish. Right, and then we go to Parlor, paste, post, and then we go to MeWe. Here, we go here, paste that. Alright, so what else do we have? We have Telegram. So what we do in Telegram is we come here and we say create new post in the Phalcon news. We paste the text and then you click on next and then you add reactions, these ones, and then you say I want to add URL buttons. So what we do is we're going to add a forum button here, Discord, and then GitHub, and next, and that makes the right, puts these three down, and then we'll click on send, send now, send, ta-da, on our Phalcon news channel. There you go. So that one is done, and then what else do we have? We have copy this and go to Reddit, create a post, it's a link here, oops, here, and then copy this, paste that, post it, okay, so that one is posted there. So we have Parlor, Gab, Social, and the blog post is done. Okay, so that would be it. That's our release. Yay! Oh god. So yeah, this is what we do, guys. This is the whole process. So let's see. Do we have any questions from our friends? I think we're done. We're just gonna have to wait for the package cloud. Let me see if I can pull it up here. Where is it? Is it Phalcon? think it's Phalcon list. There we go. So yeah, that's the build process. As you see here, it's slowly building everything. And I'm really sorry about this stupid thing. I don't know why it's doing this flicker again. I guess it started with this part. So anyway, very quickly, before I switch this thing off, I don't know why it's showing my second screen over there. Let me just change something here. Nope. Sorry about the flicker, guys. Anyway, just real quick, it actually shows stuff here that we have, and we just it keeps on building all the little DLLs and debs and whatever these are. Yeah, debs and RPM. Sorry, I keep on saying DLLs. Let me just end the meeting here. Maybe that would help. Actually, it didn't help much. What about my camera? Does it work? Nope. Camera stopped working. Anyway, we're coming back. Oh, okay. It's a little bit better. Yeah, Rude, I actually stopped Zoom. Sorry about that, but I'm having a horrible flicker, and so I got this crazy flicker on the screen. So I was just trying to figure out where it was coming from. That's why I was trying to play with the windows. It seems a little bit better now. Tiny little thing. So yeah, if I refresh the screen here, most likely it's gonna be, yeah, 2 more and all that. One last thing, just wanted to show you before we wrap this thing up. Let's see, which screen is it gonna be? Is it this? Okay, so one last thing for everybody. Let's close this guy. And of course, please ask any questions that we have. Where we way exceeded our usual time. We're on the 2-hour range right now on this Hangout. And thank you to all that actually stuck with us and waited, and all of those that will watch it later on. One of the things that I have been asked before is, how do you write your documents and all that? So the way I do this is I use PHP Storm, and man, it flickers again. Why the hell does it do that? Anyway, I'm just gonna do it quickly because I don't want you guys to get a headache from just this stuff. So what I do is I take the application micro, for instance, the document, and then I do soft wrap, and I start writing here everything that we need to write with all the little tags and all that stuff. But I also open the actual code for let's say the application micro, and I expand also on the classes, on the class methods, and everything that has to be in there in order to make sure that this information is as thorough as possible. On the left side here, you see a Nanobox instance that it's running a serve command that launches the Jekyll site, and then the result is this here. What was it? Application micro, right? So this is what it shows, and then I can quickly see the left menu, what I have here, what I have on the page, and all that. And I'm always trying to keep the document around this size so that all the code shows properly, it doesn't wrap, and everything is nice and beautiful. One last part, and that's how I do my documents. All the code is in GitHub, so you can do the same thing yourself. If you need instructions, just hit us up on Discord or anything you would like. One last part is I'd like to show you this. This is, and sorry again about the flicker, I have no idea what causes it, and I'm gonna try and figure it out and fix it at some point, but it doesn't seem that I'm lucky lately in finding what the hell is going on. But the deal with this is that this is a brand new design that our friends from O2 have created, and this is what I'm working on my spare time, if I ever have spare time. So pretty much what we did is we made sure that everything that we have currently is available for this brand new website. All the pages. So what I did is I took the whole what you call it, site as it was, the template that they sent me, and then I started changing all the little words here in order to make, you know, this text and then this text and so on and so forth, in order to make sure that all the translations relate to whatever we have on this site. There's quite a bit of work left to be done. We need to do the first pages, some minor cosmetic things. For instance, this low overhead should align at the top. When I do this with the MVC, you see this menu drops down. We need to keep it at the top. Dependency injection, REST, and then you have data storage, views and front end, and so on and so forth. So all these little things are things that we have been working on, and this is a little glimpse on how our website will look into. We also have a script that generates these images, so depending on people's contributions, people are going to come in and come out or whatever, or I might just do something like a random thing, but you know, I haven't thought about that earlier. So everything changes to exactly the same layout that we have on all sites. So if you see the docs site, as you can see, it says Phalcon docs, download, contribute, community. Well, download, docs, site, community, right? So the menus are pretty much the same. The drop down for the languages is the same. So we're trying to keep a uniform way of having on our sites. Of course, this particular site is going to become available pretty soon. There's still work to be done. So this is the site again. But this is the fresh look that we're coming up. It's definitely going to be available for v4. One last thing that Ruud mentioned is the ID stubs. Those are going to be released a little bit later today. I think Ruud is on the case on that, just to generate them. And that would complete all of our release tasks. And that is it. Any questions from you guys? More than welcome to answer them. Otherwise, if we don't have any questions, we're just gonna call it a day. I know it's 2 hours of your time and so on and so forth. And thank you all for sticking with it and just staying with us. And hopefully this video would show people how we do this release and all that. I'm gonna amend the blog post to have the URL for this release, so that people can see it. So if you have any questions, by all means post them right now. Otherwise, you know, I'm gonna wait a couple of minutes and then we're gonna shut this down. Okay. Okay. All right. So from what I'm seeing, the package cloud, the RPMs and DLLs, we have another 2, 4, 6, 7 different tasks to run, and after that, Sergey is gonna merge everything to master, and everything is gonna come. Everything is gonna be available from those package managers rather. Okay, thank you Diplopito, thank you Izo for the kind words. So let me quickly add the URL for the live one. That will give us a few more minutes if anybody has any questions. And after that, we're just gonna call it a day. Okay, blog post is done. I don't see any questions. So with all that, at 2 hours 13 minutes and 20 seconds, I would like to thank everybody, as our community is the best one there is. Love you guys. Thank you everybody for staying here with us, for commenting, and for cheering. And we're gonna call it a night. One last thing, yes, Diplopito, for the v4 stable, just bugs fixings in RC2. Yes, if you look at the activity between different versions, we no longer have a lot of added new or whatever stuff like that. The additions are tiny. If at all, just to offer a little bit of functionality. For instance, I mentioned today we just added a casting parameter in the collection kit. That was just a tiny little thing. It's all bug fixes, and it all comes from the community that reports different things that we might have missed or we don't have tests for. So the focus, the big focus, is the 10-15 documents that remain to be rewritten. And while we're waiting for this, we're fixing any issues that we have with that. I'll mention something that I mentioned in a previous Hangout. I am the bottleneck right now because I'm typing the documents. Ruud is just reviewing most of them. And just offering a few suggestions here and there on things that might not be clean or might not be clear and all that. So if we assume that I do one document a day, which is not the case all the time, we have another 15 days for the next version, at least. So I'm gonna try my best to do all these things. So realistically, we should be looking at the end of next month. For the release. So and I don't know if we're looking for the end of next month, so the end of November, do we want to release it at the beginning of December? Do we want to release it as a Christmas present? I don't know. I mean, that's gonna be some things that we need to definitely address. But having said that, we're gonna keep the community informed as always, give you guys as much information as possible, because you are the ones that make this project successful, not us. Yeah, I totally agree. ISO, I will be waiting for Peckle. That should bring tons of people into Phalcon. Yes, definitely. I do agree on that, but that is a huge task, because the just the documents alone for the PHP.net is gonna be crazy to just do. I'm hoping I'll be able to have a good documentation here, and somehow to be able to extract this documentation from our current documents and just put them into Peckle, into PHP.net. I don't know if you guys know, PHP.net uses their own documentation website that it's mostly XML based, and you have to have an account and you have to do all sorts of things. But I haven't touched it yet. I just briefly glanced into it, and it was crazy. But I'm hoping to be able to automate that in such a way that I don't have to make a change here and then all of a sudden change everything there. We're gonna definitely have a release party where we're gonna do our release. It's gonna take, as you saw, a few hours just to finish, but we're gonna do the whole thing live, just to make sure that we celebrate with you guys this milestone. If you think about it, we've been working on V4 since last year, so we're closing into a whole year of work, and it's been thousands and thousands of commits, discussions, and everything. And again, I might sound boring right now, but we thank you guys so much for all the work and the commitment that you put into Phalcon, and the feedback that you give us pretty much on a daily basis. So without this community, this project is nothing. So thank you all. I'm gonna call it a day right now, and I'm gonna get some coffee. All the best, and we'll talk soon via our social media or by Discord and so on and so forth.